Hello and welcome back to the studio. Today I wanted to talk about Floral Muse, the series that I have been working on for the past few weeks. And I wanted to just share some takeaways that I had from working on this series. So I started this in order to go back to florals, which is a theme that I do go back to every once in a while. And I wanted to create something for myself that would keep me working in a practice and that would use the techniques and materials that I already use. So today's video is just going to be a little bit of a walkthrough through the different journals that I created and different sketches and the different materials and the different techniques. And then also talking a little bit about what I learned from working in this kind of way, in this format. I think for me, color is what draws me into any work of art first. So that's where I began with this series, just color and using jelly printing to just create some very, very simple prints of the colors I wanted to use, inspired by some of the floral arrangements I had seen in that Art and Bloom exhibition. And that's where it kind of all started. Each print was pulled on paper that I included the color name and its meaning, and I just felt that this would add just a different layer of symbolism, which I really loved. So next I wanted to just make some quick sketches based off of the photographs I had taken, and I decided to use marker. I don't normally use marker, but I do love the idea that you cannot erase those lines, so it kind of kept you out of, well, markers keep you out of your head, kept me out of my head. And later on, all of these little doodle sketches were great as reference material for using other mediums. Next, I used ink and a few little tools like a brush and a fountain pen and a stick. And I really, really love using ink and these kind of materials and tools. I like that you have very little control, and I really love the results. I did not love using the fountain pen. I found it really, really scratchy, so it just gave me that icky, fork on a plate kind of feeling when I was using it. But I did like the results of those finer lines. I'm not sure that I'll use that too often, just because, again, I just don't like the feel of it in my body, but it was fun to play with different tools. And then I added those little bits of collage in areas that I felt didn't really work, and so that was another little added layer. I tend to mostly use colored pencils and wax crayons as mark making tools in mixed media abstract pieces. So I normally don't sketch with colored pencils, but I absolutely loved working with them in this series. And I feel like the previous sketches in ink and marker really, really helped with being a little bit more loose in terms of using this medium that I normally don't use. And I really, really, really enjoyed this, and will probably do more of this moving forward. And last, I used acrylic paint to create some little paintings in these handmade sketchbooks. And I love using acrylic paint. What I found was that because I had made so many sketches previously in the colored pencils, the inks, the markers, it allowed me to later on become much more loose. So these paintings here were some of the first paintings that I made. This was the first handmade journal that I created. And then in the second handmade journal, I noticed that my paintings were much more loose, and I think that was because of all the sketching that I had done. It kind of just loosened me up, and I could quickly just pick the colors I wanted because I had already used them in the colored pencils and the wax crayons, and just put some, marks down. And I really, really, really loved this this part of it. I am a mixed media artist, and I just love how every medium does its own thing. There's a certain relinquishing of control that you have to do because the media will dictate the results. And that's something that I really enjoy in general and really enjoyed about this process. And I also really loved creating my own handmade journals. I am going to continue doing more of that moving forward, especially in series. It's sometimes overwhelming to go into like a big journal and feel like you have to fill it up. But with these smaller handmade journals, and there's just a few pages, I feel like that helped me to just really come into it with more freedom and less stress. And so I just loved working on this series. I love flowers, and I loved interpreting them in all these different ways. And I am really looking forward to using all of these as resources for future work. So I really enjoyed the exploratory nature of working in this way. My background was in elementary education, and I think that really, really instilled in me a love of teaching and learning and playing, exploring, and I enjoyed the process of having a thought like, I wonder what this would look like if I used this or if I did that, and just kind of following that thread, following those little seeds of ideas and thoughts. And it was a really, really great way to collect a lot of different kinds of art within this series. I also feel like now I have all of this wonderful resource material that I can use to create a body of work or to make more sketches, or I can use the same process to create a different theme. And so this was just a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoyed coming along with me on this little floral journey. I'll see you next time.